Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good night, and welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And we're excited to be here.
Listen, thanks for checking in.
Welcome to Jazzy Conversations. I'm Teef.
And I'm Gigi.
And it's the holidays, G.
It is.
What do you got planned? What do you got planned?
I have lots planned. This is really my absolute favorite time of year. Everybody that knows me, Teef, knows I put out the holiday wreath. Listen, I play Christmas music. I break that out. So I've been in the season. It's
G,
been a couple of weeks already, Teef.
What is your favorite Christmas song of all time? Very important.
It's easy for me. Oh, Holy Night. I love singing it. I love hearing it. I love all the varieties of it. Oh, Holy Night, hands down.
Singing it?
Yes, that's something for another episode. Don't even try it. I see the wheels turning, Teef. I know you. Not today.
Now, my favorite of all time would never change.
Yeah.
You want to guess what it is?
It's
It's our childhood. They try to change it up, but it's our childhood. Being downtown, New Haven, Connecticut, Chapel Square Mall.
Mm-hmm.
We were here. Wham! Last Christmas.
Oh, that's your favorite, Teef?
Absolute classic.
I just learned something.
Classic.
Wow.
Holidays are a very great time for myself, as you said, for yourself, because the day after Christmas is a very special day.
It should be a national holiday, y'all.
It's my birthday, G.
Yeah,
and we're getting younger and younger.
Yes.
Listen, we have a very special show for you guys today.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna really enjoy it.
You gotta love this.
Tune in, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ready? Here we go. Welcome to Jazzy Conversations.
Welcome, everyone.
I'm Teef.
I'm Gigi.
And we have someone special today, a great, good friend of mine from my acting class from the hit TV series, Tyler Perry's The Have and the Have-Nots, Captain Cryer, Renee Lawless. Welcome to the show, Renee.
So great to be here. I am so thrilled and so excited to be here.
And look at you with your holidays. You got the Christmas hat on. I got the Christmas sweater. Gigi's ready. You're ready. We're ready.
We're ready.
Yep. Trees are up. Everything's going great.
So Renee, what's going on? How you been?
I have been doing very well, actually. I've been a little crazy. I'm a busy person at the holidays. I have a huge Christmas party every year, and I'm actually not flying out of town this holiday season. I'm driving 2 hours north to be with my best friend and godson and family, but I'm not going out of town for the holidays. So that's going to be kind of nice for a change.
Quick question.
Going out of town, but not getting on a plane at the time. I'm doing that later, like the first part of January, but not right now.
Gotcha. And now, is it one of those holiday Hollywood parties or Christmas parties, or just low key with the family?
No, I invite everybody I know to come over to my 3x5 little house. And I usually, but thinking, they're not all going to, one year I thought I got like 90 people, and it's literally from people I go to church with to maybe an actor friend I know. Some of them might be a celebrity to some circles.
Okay.
They're just friends. And then they bring some of their friends, and I never know who's really going to show up. I haven't done this in 2 years.
Okay.
Because COVID and then some health issues, which we may talk about later. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have my party. I've been known for this party. People look forward to my party. And I do not put on a Kardashian type party. Please don't listen to that. This is a basic. I do all the decorating. My house is not very large. I mean, it's a nice house, but I don't have this sprawling, estate. And they're in the backyard. They're in all the different rooms, and it's just basically people to come together, eat, drink, and be merry. That's all it is. Nothing really special happens. Some people show up in jeans. Mm-hmm. Some people show up in a cute little dress, and there's no real dress code.
Well, you said nothing special happens. That is something I think really special when people come as they are. And this sounds to me like this is an emergence, right? We're re-emerging. Here's your celebration. Right. Here I am.
And I give them about a 3-4 hour window to come. Like I don't say you have to be here. I mean, it's literally come and go. It's not come and stay all night and eat dinner. No, I ain't got no room for that.
Now, Renee, your background. Now, people's watching and they want to know where this party's at. Tell me your background. Where you're from originally and your siblings.
I'm not giving you my address.
Not your address. Not your address.
My house. I am from the great state, wait for it, of Tennessee. Wichita will always be home to me. Oh,
now Renee, with all that cheering going on, this is very important because you know what I'm going to ask next. We had a nice conversation last night prior to taping. How are you feeling?
This was taped earlier, and we just had an epic loss, and I felt gut punched, and I've been crying. But you know what? I put on my Facebook page today, win or lose, I am Evolve for Life. I will always be Evolve for Life. We still had probably one of the best seasons we've had in a very long time. What it did for the fans, the people, the team. I'm more concerned about the quarterback right now. He got injured in the fourth quarter, and this man is a Heisman Trophy favorite. So I'm more concerned about him than the loss. It's not the outcome we were dreaming of and hoping for, but we are back. We are now a contender.
Now, Renee, who are we? Because a lot of people may not know who the Vols are. You didn't say
University of Tennessee Volunteers.
Okay.
I moved to Jacksonville, Florida when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
But I am a Tennessean by heart. I still have relatives there. My parents are buried there. That's where I started. I was born at the University of Tennessee Hospital. I bleed orange. Everything. My parents were Tennessee. I come by it honest.
It's in your veins.
Go to school. No, I was born there.
Now, Renee, I got to throw a shot at you because you know who my team is. And, let's give a big shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes. How about those Buckeyes?
The only time I would only root for Ohio State if they played Alabama. It's like there's two teams on the planet that I would root for ISIS over, and that is the Patriots and Alabama.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Those are two teams I cannot
over here.
deal with.
100%.
You realize that we're in Patriot Nation right now.
And she does know
that.
Well,
I will sit there and pray for you. Father,
we are definitely New England. So, Gigi, let me give you a little background with Renee and I, how we became friends. So, I got to be like 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
Renee and I, as you guys know, Renee is an extremely successful actress. We met in one of our acting classes, and we took a class together with the famous Judy Henderson.
Henderson, right?
Casting director from Homeland. And I'm already in the class. I'm sitting there. We had about 12 people, and here comes Renee Lawless. She comes walking into class, just being Renee, and comes and sits down next to me and says, "How you doing?" A little Southern Belle type of thing. And the friendship started from right then.
That's right there. We would go out. A bunch of us would go out after class. The friendship started right there.
Man, we used to go out downtown Manhattan and just talk and just have a good time and network and just, the unique thing about it is her fame right after that took off. Mm-hmm. And she never changed. I can honestly look into the camera and say that friendship that we built is almost like you and I. Gigi and I have been friends, Renee, for listen to me, since we were in 8th grade.
Yeah.
8th grade.
Wow.
Yeah, so about 15 years now.
About 14, 15 years.
15 years.
It's only been, 5 years now?
Yeah. So Renee and I will go out and we'll have dinner together and we'll talk and we'll network. And the next thing you know, her fame took off, tremendous success. And here's the unique thing. No matter what was going on, every now and then I'll send her a text just to shoot the breeze. She would always reply, wow. "Teef, how you doing? How's the family? How's everything going?" And I always appreciated that. I want the country to know, the world to know that you stayed the same. You stayed true. And I truly, sincerely appreciate you for that.
That's I tried to. I never wanted to not be, because I might have, and I'm kind of speaking out of turn, but the people you meet on the way up are the same people you're going to meet on the way down.
Yeah.
This is true.
And people have a tendency in this industry to forget where they came from. Mm-hmm. They say they don't, but they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll say this. I'm just meeting you, and it's been an absolute pleasure for these past couple of minutes. And with as magnetic as you are, and I know Teef to be the kind of person that he'll say, we're going to be friends. And he means it. So there's no surprise that you all have stayed connected, just thinking of the two of you. Now, he talked about you. He said you're a Southern belle. So are you a Southern belle? Would your family talk about you and tell stories about you as a Southern belle?
Well, my parents were equally Southern, so it wouldn't be that Southern belle. And, you know, I'm an only child, and my parents bragged on me all the time about everything. And there was really, we weren't a shy family. I'm taking this little thing off because I can't deal with my little Santa Claus hat there right now. That's
the Captain Crier look right there, but go ahead. That's the Captain Crier right there.
We're not a shy family, so there really wasn't secrets. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I was sitting here going, there's nothing. My parents were very open about things, and I was very open about things. And you know, I was thinking, what story would I have in my life that I wouldn't mind sharing? But mainly they're like childhood stories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Those are the best.
Because I was raised, you know, corporal punishment was very big in my family. My parents did not spare the rod, you know, ever. And so I remember two things. Once as a little, you know how when your parents always say before they spank you, they say, you know, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. And I'm doing this because I love you. And I was always, and my biggest response was, you don't have to love me today if you don't want to.
It's a good one. Did it ever work, Renee? Did that ever work?
You know, I have fond memories. I can remember just about a few times that my parents were so blood red and angry. I remember going out and picking my own switch. You know, child, please, everybody's in the South. We got switches.
That's the parenting that we remember.
There was one story. It happened. I had neighbors across the street from me when I was a little girl that always got me in trouble. Always got me in trouble. And, you know, we lived way out in the country at the time, and we had gone to a neighbor's hen house, and we got all the eggs and cracked them over our heads and threw them all on the ground and jumped up and down and then left the door open. And the hens are everywhere, and the eggs are all destroyed. And I remember I was the one that always got punished. My neighbor's kids never got punished, but my parents, after they beat the tar out of me, then I got grounded, and it was like, and then turned right around and went to a neighbor's garden like a year later and took all the tomatoes off the vines and buried them.
Oh no! Oh no!
Now, G, you got family down south?
No. My family is not from the States. So my family is from both of my parents are immigrants. Right. So my mother's from Cuba and my father's from Panama. So we have family that's here, but where they're from, I mean, I'm first generation. I'm first generation.
Good for you.
Yes, but I relate to that form of like, listen, I'm not raising everybody's kids. Now I can tell them where to go and what's wrong, but I'm responsible for you.
That's right.
So
I'm going to tell you one really quick story. It's a story that I tell all the time, because especially to the millennials and all these Gen Z, these people that were, and whatever generation that came after me that are raising kids right now. Mm-hmm. But after church on Sunday, we would go to what we would probably call like a Morrison's cafeteria type. But this was a really nice place, really nice. It was that old, in the 60s, it had the bank heads and stuff. And we would go there after church. And one day we're sitting there, and like I said, I'm an only child, so I'm always sitting in the middle of my parents. I was never on the one on the end. I was always between mom and dad. And we're watching, and there's some people all over the restaurant. Some are in, the tables, as we were in a bankhead, but some were in tables. And these two kids were just horrendous, running around, just doing things that I would never be allowed to do in a million years. And I must have been about, I would say 5 or 6 when this happened. And I remember I all of a sudden started crying hysterically. And my parents were like, they thought I was sick. They didn't know what was going on. And they're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm crying and I could hardly breathe. And I went, they're going to die. because I knew if I had acted that way, I would have been killed.
Yes.
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 And I was like crying, and my parents are going, what? And I go, their parents are going to kill him. They're going to die. I mean, and my parents were laughing hysterically because that's right. I wasn't the kid running around. So that's my
Yes. I completely relate. My mother tells stories about my sister and I. We would be out and looking at other kids like,
yes.
when they would be getting away, running around, doing some of the things that you're describing. And we knew if we even thought, like if the thought occurred to us.
Even came in.
It came in, Renee.
Whatever was in reach of the hand.
My mother had a look. My mother had a look, and so we knew. Don't even think it. So I relate.
I relate as well. My family's from the South, so I was waiting for you to finish. And let's just say to all the people in Greenville, South Carolina, we were raised the same way. So I'll say that. I'll leave it at that. But we were raised the exact same way.
People in the South, people in the North go, that's horrible. And I'm like, nobody in the South think that. They go, yep, that's what.
Now, Renee, it's holiday season. Here's my question to you. It's holiday season. Give me your favorite holiday movie. And what does that holiday movie say about your personality or about you?
I have 3, but I'm going to give you I am a diehard It's a Wonderful Life.
I knew it, me too. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Now, I will say I still love the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Kris Kringle.
Those claymation ones, Renee?
They're like the Muppet kind of thing. Yeah. Not Muppet, but they were actually kind of
Muppet.
Claymation, yeah. Stop it. And but I also am a diehard from A to Z, from the black and white all the way up to the dark when they did with Guy Pearce a few years ago. A diehard Christmas Carol person.
Yeah.
I like things with redemption at the end. Yes. I like redemption stories. But the reason why I say It's a Wonderful Life, there's a movie that came out, 10, 15 years ago now, that has turned into a big favorite holiday movie. Following and I think I attached myself to it because of It's a Wonderful Life. And it's called Family Man or Family Guy. I think it's called The Family Man. I always say it wrong. It's either Family Man or Family Guy.
Okay. And
it stars Nicolas Cage and Don Cheadle has some cameos in it, and Tia Leone. But Nicolas Cage and Tia Leone are the stars. It's got It's a Wonderful Life type sort of twist to it without giving anything away. But when you see this movie, I can't begin to tell everybody. There's a little sign that's coming up on your
It's a sign coming up, niece.
Yeah. When you see this movie, I like movies that have a message and a redemption but make you think. And they make you look at your own life and your own values and how you perceive the world or things. And then it brings out what's genuinely important in life. It is a magnificent movie. The last scene just every single time I can almost quote it. I just go, no, I'm not going to do it. So I don't want to give anything away. It's kind of one of those movies that people go, well, what's it about? And I'm going, go see it.
Go see it.
Okay, now Renee,
just rent it.
What does that movie say about you? How does it relate to you in any way? Your personality? Maybe not that movie, maybe a different movie. Holiday movie.
It relates to me in the holiday is that it tells us to keep what's important with the holiday season. While neither one of those films necessarily talk about the birth of Jesus, it talks about the importance of family and friends. And it's not presents, it's not money. And in the past few years, because all of us, because of COVID, we were forced to be home. And we learned that our real riches and treasure was in our family.
Amen.
You're right.
And while everybody was in the same boat, from the richest of rich to the poorest of poor, everybody was on a level playing field. Now, granted, I would have much rather been stranded in Jeff Bezos' house than my house. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We were all on equal footing as far as forced to be home with ourselves and our families, whether we liked them or not. And we had to find and a lot of, parents in the beginning were like, take my kids. But then they realized they learned more about their kids that they didn't know.
Right. You're right.
Better relationships, marriages, everything came together. And those movies speak to me about, it's great to want this and to dream about that and to have dreams and to have goals, but don't lose sight of what's truly important. So back to what you were saying, I hope I've stayed the same, Latifah. Yeah, I have dreams and goals and desires, but I just like being at home. I like being around family. I love being around friends. And that's probably what those movies speak to me about, is that it's being happy with what you have at whatever season you are in life.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Perfectly.
That is beautiful.
A lot of people who don't have anything.
You're right.
Perfectly said.
That was beautiful.
Now, Renee, real quick, Gigi, give me a movie.
Oh, so I've shared.
Holiday movie.
I don't know if a lot of people know this movie, but it's called The Shack.
The Shack.
The Shack. But do you consider that a Christmas movie?
No, but you know what? When you talk,
I read the book. I like the book better.
I love the book is always better, Renee. It doesn't
matter
what you're talking about. The book is always
movie.
better, but only because what she talked about, the redemptive nature. Right? Even when she talked about you just said it. The first movie you mentioned, A Wonderful Life. Right? There's the redemptive nature. So it's the same thing in The Shack. So it's not necessarily a holiday movie, but when you talk about themes of redemption, which is what Christmas is about, right? For me, it's it's redemption. That's one of my favorites. Now, if you want my absolute favorite holiday movie, I have to go with Chevy Chase, the National Lampoon's.
Oh my goodness,
Christmas.
That's a classic.
Griswold!
That's a good one.
That's my favorite.
That's a classic. Now that's a classic.
Yeah.
Gee, give it to me.
Yeah, I love that one.
Now you guys got a little too deep, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with mine. Mine is Die Hard. Freeze.
Oh.
Hey, listen, forget all that other stuff. Forget all that.
It's so funny how that has become a holiday
Die Hard
movie.
is my holiday. It's on right now.
never
As you know,
think
it's on
about it.
right now. So 1, 2, and 3. Bruce Willis. Shout out to Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
that's
Shout out to
mine.
Bruce Willis and the wonderful, sad to be gone Alan Rickman.
Oh man,
The one that falls out the window.
Oh.
Now, Renee, a lot of people don't know that you come from stage. A lot of people don't know you come from stage and you're also a singer. So let's go into that a little bit. Can you tell us a background about that?
Yeah, I started out, I went from the birthing table to the church pew, and I was always in the children's choirs and the plays and stuff, and I was always the loudest, and that doesn't necessarily mean I could sing, but I was the loudest. And when I hit about 12, actually in 4th grade, someone gave me a church solo in the choir, and I have a reel-to-reel tape of that, actually. I know y'all are way too young.
No, I know
That's
reel to
old
reel.
The thing is, I have a reel-to-reel recording of that, and I don't know what that man heard, because a good voice was not it. But about 12, 13, I started sounding different from everybody else. And I started taking voice lessons at 15, and I thought I was going to be, even though I was doing a lot of musical theater and all the choirs, I was going to be an opera singer. And I went to school as a major in music in school with a minor in theater, and I got a master's degree in master's studies in voice at Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, but I was still doing musical theater. I was still doing plays. I was still doing all that. But singing is what 100% got me to where I am today.
Wow.
I mean, literally, that's what opened the door. I was doing Wicked before I got the Have and Have Nots. I did 5 years with Wicked. I had done Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. And so the singing kept leading to something else, to something else, to something.
Mm-hmm. I actually found that fact about you. I was doing my own research and saw that you'd done some acting and stage and singing, but not before I saw the episode earlier in the Have and Have Nots when there was that episode where she was singing to you. You were getting
With
your
Hannah.
treatments
And
with
it's
Hannah.
so funny because
I said, wait a minute,
Mr. Perry's going, Renee, just sing along, and I went, I don't know the song.
Oh no, but I heard it.
You know, and so she's kind of like it was. There's a what is it?
There's a balm in Gilead.
No, it was something. There's a ground in this old building.
Yes, that's right.
In my soul, there's a something in this old building, and I forgot it.
Was it? There's a leak in this old building. Or something.
Yeah, and it was, and I was loving it, and I was like, can I learn this song first? She was kind of singing, and I was trying to catch on.
I heard it.
And he didn't throw that at us until we showed up on set.
I didn't see that episode.
Give me a heads up.
I didn't see that episode. Can you sing it for me so I can catch on?
Oh, look at him. He's sneaky.
I didn't see that.
In this old building, in my soul. I don't remember.
Well, I heard it. I heard it in an episode. I said, this sister can sing.
So Gigi, she can't remember. You remember. Give me something. What
nice try. You know, listen. Try a couple episodes later. Let's see. No, you got to warm me up.
So far away.
Oh, boy.
Doesn't anybody stay in one place,
anymore?
It will be so fine to see your face at
my door.
But it doesn't help to know that you're just time away. Long ago, I reached for you, and there you stood.
With it.
All right.
We'll do it there, Jim.
I see that. That was lovely.
Le plume. Now, Renee.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. That's it.
That's lovely.
Next question.
That's lovely.
Amazing.
Really amazing. All right. So I had a question that I wanted to follow up with you about. I know that sometimes when people are successful, people that are wanting to be there, they have an imagination of what it takes to be there. And they have an imagination of how easy it is and what it's like. And I can already see in your face that there's a story. What would you tell people about the success that you've had and what it's taken to be there? And maybe what people might believe that isn't true about being a successful actress?
Well, you first have to define the word success.
There you go.
Because I have made a lot of successes in my career. Just because you don't know them doesn't mean I haven't been successful.
Say that.
I have been successful in stage for a long time, but nobody knew that until I was on the title. So people think if they don't see you on TV in a film or Broadway or something, means that you're not successful. Trust me. I've been a working actress for almost 30 years. That's success.
That's success. Yes, there you go. Say that.
That's success. You know what? I don't even know if it's still around, but there was a thing in New York way, way years ago. It was called the Actors
Green Room?
No, it was at the time. This is long before technology got to where it would be, but it was basically it was like a database of all actors. And at the time, casting directors, kind of like what Actors Access is today, but a lot less simpler. And casting directors could go in there and just see all the actors and stuff down and look. And they defined success as someone who could afford their health insurance, who qualifies for health insurance.
Listen.
And you have no idea how I agree with that 100%. You know what I'm saying? It's especially now in my life. So first of all, you have to define success. People think if they see you on TV, you are rich. Especially Catherine Cryer, who had millions and millions.
Played a rich person, right?
Dollars.
Exactly. Yes.
I played a very rich person. I ain't got her money. I ain't got nothing close to that. That's like beyond Tyler. Actually, Catherine Cryer, if you want to think about it, with the exception of when he just bought his studio, Catherine Cryer was richer than Tyler Perry.
Wow.
Okay? And now that he's got his studio, his assets are probably more than hers. But for the most part, the Cryers were very, very wealthy. I'm not even a millisecond of that. Do you know what?
I get it.
And so, I mean, people forget that. They think, oh no, but you're Catherine. Yeah, well, I'm play Catherine. I am Catherine. So as far as success is concerned, I was successful in landing a nice dream role. But now the show's canceled. So I'm looking for the next role and the next thing. Does that mean I'm not successful?
Right.
I mean, years ago, a Broadway actress, a very famous Broadway actress, Tony One-Witter, made a statement, got a lot of flack for it about, if you're not working, then you're not talented, or there's something wrong. And I was like, how dare you?
How dare you?
And she got a lot of flack. Her name is coming to me, but I'm going to let it right. And she had to do a lot of apologizing because, there are people that win Academy Awards on Sunday night and they are in the unemployment line Monday morning and you never see them again.
Yes, absolutely.
And there are people that have never gotten on screen or on a stage that are tremendously talented, right? But not discovered.
Right. And here's the thing, and some people, and this is a across the board question that I would tell to young actors, current actors, people that define success. If you were in this business for money and accolades, you are in the wrong business. Mm-hmm. You'll have more rejection and more valleys than you will ever have hills, unless you're the 0.1%. We're not even talking 1%. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking the 0.1% that have been, okay, I'm going to probably put Meryl Streep in that category. Okay, she probably chooses what she wants to do now, but she's also probably priced her out of a ton of projects she would like to do. Mm-hmm. But people who, she's also happily married, and she's got enough residuals and back money coming in from success after success after success. But you can have a big success, but that money does not last forever.
Correct.
That's right.
I mean, to me, one of the absolute most successful people in this industry has never won an award, and that's Harrison Ford. The man is always working.
I never knew that.
This is true.
Wow.
Harrison, he might have won a Golden Globe or something, but he's never won
a major Academy Award. Wow. I didn't
never won an Emmy. I don't even think
Wow, interesting.
Kevin Costner has either, but there's a lot of people out there. For instance, I'm a big classic movie buff. Huge classic movie buff. Giant, it was just on the other day. It's a great movie. It still is and has always will be a very popular classic movie. It had Rock Hudson, James Dean, Elizabeth Taylor, anybody who was anybody. It did not win the Academy Award.
The old greats.
Star Wars has gotten nominated occasionally, but would we all agree Star Wars is probably one of the most successful franchises out there?
That's right.
And I've now all of a sudden, and people think if you're not, IMBD is this thing that Hollywood likes to say that dictates how popular you are.
Yeah.
Whatever. Because, for instance, Denzel hasn't probably done a movie in a minute. I mean, he has, but I mean, Denzel Washington doesn't have to do a movie every year.
To stay in the successful category. Right.
But his IMBD is probably low, but he's not number one. Mm-hmm. His IMBD, the lower your number, the more popular. It's a popularity contest, period.
Wow.
Period. And Hollywood is an illusion. People think because you're on TV, you're this. No. Because not everybody in Hollywood, unless you're on network television, just because you're on television doesn't make you make a big salary. Yeah. The smaller networks don't pull in that. ABC, NBC, CBS, you make your biggest salaries, period. But now Netflix and HBO are coming along. Right. But just because you're on TV does not mean that are you making a living? Are you paying for your health insurance? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Renee, that ties into something you and I spoke about last night. I love the, so after the have and the have-nots ended, people asked me, some people said, Teef, I know she's a good friend of yours. I haven't seen her in a while. What happened to her? What's your reply to that?
The very last month of 2020 and all of 2021, I labeled the 3 C's. Yeah. We had COVID. Mm-hmm. No, first thing was my show got canceled. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I got COVID, very mild. I didn't even know I had it. But I got COVID on my 60th birthday. Yes, everybody knows I'm an old lady.
I see an old lady here.
Birthday, I had planned to have this epic party, and all of that got canceled because of just COVID in general. And then I got COVID. Mm-hmm. And then in 2021, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
I've just celebrated 1 year cancer free, but I went through hell in 2021. I kept most of my hair. I lost about 40%. It's slowly coming back, but it's not nearly the thickness and the volume that it was. I wore cold caps. I went through many rounds of chemo. I've had 3 surgeries. I've had a double mastectomy. I have no problem telling people that because I love my boobs now, and they're pretty. And you would never know that. Renee. And so, but I say that because I hate that we get so shy to say things to people about that. I mean, a woman going through breast cancer is a lot. Anybody going through cancer is a lot. Yeah. And so I've now been, and things were getting well before I got, things were really happening for me just before I was diagnosed, and then they stopped. And even though I'm cancer free, 2022 has still been a little bit of a slow start for me because I was out of the picture for so long. And now I've got to dive back into the pool. So I'm in one of I don't want to use this word because it's a negative connotation. I'm not in a valley. I am in a circling pattern right now.
A holding pattern.
I'm in a circling. So I've gone from point A to point B. I get to the airport, and I'm just circling right now because I've got to figure out some things. I got to let some other things go on before I come in for my landing.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it.
Listen,
I'm in a circling pattern. It's not a wall. It's just a circle.
Just a circling pattern. Just waiting, right? The stillness is required. Let me just say, I want to thank you for sharing that, and I think I really appreciate it. And I know that many others would appreciate that also, that level of transparency and saying what it is that you've been through. And to that, right, when you think about holding your own life and what happens and your 3 C's, right, these things that came and changed the trajectory. And I want to tie that to what you were saying about being successful. And I would love to hear from you because you said we got to start with your definition of success. What? Now, in retrospect, looking at your life, looking at your career, looking at your health, looking at your party and the friends that will come, what have you defined as success for you?
Good question.
I'm sorry, that was
a good question.
But no, that's a good question. I guess I used to answer that is always working. My goal was never. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, people would like to get a trophy or an accolade, but my goal was to constantly be a working actor. My goal was constantly to be working or be sought after. Success to me, though, is being able to pay my health insurance. And the success is, I don't know how I'm going to be able to say this. I know what I'm trying to say, and I'm not able to articulate it. The success is what I feel is success, not what other people feel is success.
Okay. Your definition.
Beautiful.
Yes. My definition of success is
Take your time.
Being able to wake up day and look at myself in the mirror and be thankful and proud that the Lord has brought me this far. That I am healthy, that I am alive, and I'm still relevant.
And you are.
I guess success is just a frame of mind.
Yeah. That sounds like gratefulness is the frame of mind that you're coming from.
It's a frame of mind because I'm successful that I got a roof over my head. We had 2 years and I wasn't doing anything. And praise the Lord above for 8 seasons of the have and have nots that I saved money that I was able to live off of that for 2 years.
Right, right. Ugh.
And so it doesn't last forever, but I've never been asked what success, I guess working, but I've had so many successes in my life. And I want to rephrase that question a little bit.
Sure.
People often ask me, what's it feel like to have made it?
That's loaded.
If I had to give advice to young actors, there are two things I would say. It's one thing to be focused and to persevere, but don't make acting your idol.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you will never make it. Yeah. Because when you make it, you will stop.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, have made it mean is, oh, I finally made it to Broadway.
Arrived.
Oh, I finally made a TV show. Okay, so what is my next goal? For instance, I'm a big Olympic fan, a huge Olympic fan. The difference with a lot of the Olympic categories, not all, because I'm going to piss somebody off, is that they are limited. You know, you grow up and you learn how to be, you want to be a basketball player, a soccer player, a football player, or a baseball player, or something like that. You can have a career out of that. Mm-hmm. Unless you're going to teach, you're not going to have a career as a gymnast.
Right.
Your ability to do that physically is going to come to an end sooner as opposed to a football player or a baseball player or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
They're not, once the Olympics is over, you can go on, like ice skaters. Ice skaters can go on exhibitions and be in the ice capades and do that kind of stuff. But people don't pay to go now and see Michael Phelps swim.
Right. The opportunities to exhibit your talent are limited. The lifespan for doing it are fairly limited. Right.
So I feel like some of these skaters or gymnasts that, yes, because of sponsorships and everything, they're going on and pursue the dream. If they want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever they want to do, they've got now the finances to do that after they've won that medal and successes. But you're 15 not 15, you're 16, 17 or 21 and you win a gold medal. I can't imagine the frame of mind is, do you come back and go, well, now what do I do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's next?
On the pinnacle, because we as a society and the world have made that gold, silver, or bronze medal a pinnacle.
That's it. The brass ring, you got it, and that's it.
So if they've got to find it within themselves, do I keep going back? Or do I go on? Do I teach? Do I start this? Or do I go to a different path? What do I do? Or do you just sit back? I know there's got to be athletes there that probably sit and go, well, now what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Renee, this is I'm sorry. So this is perfect. What's next for Renee? What's your next move?
Lord Jesus, I have so many irons in the fire.
That's good.
I know you were talking about books. We were talking about different things.
Yes,
you have.
There's a book that I would like to write about. There's a bunch of different things, but I have currently right now, I'm a speaker's coach. You could go to thespeakerscoach.net, and I'm going to be trying to get some group classes together because I don't really have the time to do that many people, like maybe 3 or 4 one-on-one. But I also, if you went on that site, you can go to the bottom. I give away a free ebook gift called How to Be a Star on Zoom, which in this day and age it helps you about lighting, dress, sight lines, all of those things. But the speaker's coach is something, I'm a very big believer in residual income. And eventually I'm going to have these on video so you can just buy the course. You don't have to have me in person and you get a one-on-one thing. That's a thing. I've also got an unscripted series that I'm trying to pitch that I would be in it, but it's not acting. It's more like a reality type show. And I've got some other pitching ideas, but I also do a lot of crafts and I've actually and my motivational speaking engagements are now increasing, and I'm getting ready to do some women's conferences. So it's just, I try not to I've had to learn. I've known this my whole life. This is another thing about people who think they've made it or judging success by when you're on a successful series like that, there is that tendency to just sit back and let it all happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you don't think about the day you're going to be canceled or go off the air. Or it's just like the football player who has $1 million, zillion dollar contract and gets injured.
Correct.
Right, right.
You know, you've got RG3. RG3 or Joe Theismann, you know, it took 2 seconds to end his whole career.
Right, right.
You know, and all you children out there don't know who that is.
I was just about to say, that's old school.
Yeah, that's old school, baby. Let me tell you. Y'all don't know Terry Bradshaw was one of the greatest quarterbacks. Y'all just know him as this big, you know, sports commentator.
Right, right.
Yeah. You don't know Chris Collingsworth played for the Bengals and was a fabulous, you know, receiver. You know,
but had to have other tricks in their bag, right?
Correct.
To be able to
pivot. You know, people don't forget Michael Strahan. Oh, we see him on, you know, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, he played for the Giants when they won the Super Bowl, but we were not, you know.
Right.
And, you know, so I'm old school. There's this old commercial. I just thought about this the other day. It's one of those things for retirees or Medicare, Medicaid thing, and it's got Joe Namath. And I thought to myself, how many people of this generation, I'm not talking about my age or older, know who that is?
He was a household name.
Yes, yes.
He was the bomb.
That's it. That's
but
right.
Nobody knows that that's Joe Namath.
Yeah. Right,
you know?
Right.
And so if you want to know when I go places, we have really just digressed from that original question, which I've completely forgotten what it was.
No,
okay,
because you're on the train, like of having multiple wells to draw from, right? Yes.
Of income, multiple streams of income. You can't sit back, and I've always known that. And that, whether that is in real estate, whether that is in doing stuff at your house, starting your own small business, doing
what you're saying, the coaching,
I'm getting
the
ready to start a
writing.
YouTube channel. I'm getting ready to do a YouTube channel. There's a book on Christmas traditions I've been wanting to write forever, and I haven't written it yet. And nobody steal that because you don't know what I was going to write. Yes. But, you know, it's the book will happen. I'm not really worried about the book. But I've got a YouTube channel in the works, and it's just because I am technological. That word.
Yes, that word.
And sometimes challenged. So once that gets up, it's just a matter of me sitting down and doing it, you know. If you saw my lighting setup right now, I've got my own. I brought this. My office is a disaster, so I don't ever do these in my office. I usually have a backdrop, but this is like pictures, but I have like a whole studio right here in my living room. Don't look that way.
Renee, for those producers and directors that's watching this right now, tell them where they can reach you at. Because
they can reach me at reneelawless.com.
Okay.
I don't always check that email, but Instagram, Renee Lawless, Twitter, Ms. Renee Lawless, Facebook, Renee Lawless, or if they go on my website, they can see all of my contact information at the end. You can send me a contact or reach out to my reps is probably the quickest way to get a hold of me because I don't always check all the private messages because I know it's hard to believe. I have men throwing themselves at me.
Enjoy it.
They go, "We want you to go out with me," and I go, "No, I don't." And I said, "Show me the money." Not really, but it's you know, show me the money, and we're gonna have a conversation.
There's truth and jest, Renee.
I do a lot of cray-crays. I've had a few stalkers, and I've had to put a lot of securities in different things. So I have my people sometimes check certain things for me, and it doesn't always. I mean, sadly, that's the world we're living in, and I have a tendency to be a little too friendly, and in the past several years, it's come back to bite me. So I've had to put up some
guardrails.
And I'm sorry about that for all of you that aren't that way.
Hey, Gigi does the same thing in our city. She has to put up guardrails.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Not at all. Not at all. I'm an open book.
Renee, so listen, Renee, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Your 3 favorite podcasts.
Of course, it's Jazzy Conversations with Gigi. That's
number one. We appreciate that.
Number one. But you know what? I'm just now delving into this world of podcasts because I'm one of those persons turn the music on in the car and go.
Me too, Renee. Me too.
And I am starting to learn to really delve deep in it because I follow a lot of different people on Instagram that actually have podcasts.
Okay.
But I don't, like if I watch them, it's really hard for me. I watch a lot of mindless entertainment because I'm always doing something else. So like I'll watch a ton of reruns all the time because I don't have to watch the TV. So if I have to listen to a podcast or watch a podcast, I have to pay attention.
Right. Yes.
So and my attention span is, I mean, I think sometimes I have ADHD or whatever. But another podcast that I like because I follow him on Instagram. So when he has something I really want to hear, I'll reach out, and it's Phil Cook.
Okay.
And a lot of the podcasts I listen to are faith-based, or something like you, which is just kind of, across the boards. Also, my girl, Angela Robinson, you all know her, Veronica from the Have and Have Nots. She has one called Artist Talk, and I think she's on Wednesday nights at the same time you guys are.
That's all right. They can catch our reruns.
Hi,
That's
Angela.
all right.
All right. She has Artist Talk on Wednesday night at 6, and I really want to. And Chief and Gigi, I'll see if I can reach out to her and see if she could be a guest.
Absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
That would be
Great,
wonderful.
Steve.
She does
Absolutely.
her stuff live.
Absolutely.
She doesn't record. She does her stuff live. So I could find out. But she is, I call her my Angela Lama. She is a dear friend. I go for her to a lot of advice. So I've got yours, Angela's, Phil's. A lot of the podcasts I listen to usually have to do with, I'm trying to learn more things about leadership, entrepreneurship, and stuff like that. So although, I like listening to Priscilla Schreier. I
Oh,
think
she's amazing.
Things like that. So,
Yes.
but I will say I'm also a sci-fi buff, and a friend of mine, Jason McLaughlin, had a podcast. I don't even know if it's still on, that I was a part of for a little bit, and he had sci-fi stories. And so those things I like, but that was years ago. I haven't talked to him recently, so I don't know if he's still doing those. But.
Okay.
He's got a nice little list.
I love it.
Listen, I just have to say it has been an absolute pleasure just hearing you, and you radiate so much grace and generosity. And I just want to say that my prayer for you is that you have sustained recovery, right? I'm going to go back to your sharing in that moment of transparency. So I'm just hoping for you sustained good health, that your generosity would continue to flow.
Right. I know we probably need to wrap this up, but I want to insert one thing.
Yes, please.
When I was diagnosed with cancer, but I never allowed myself to have cancer.
Beautiful.
I told people I was diagnosed to the point where they said that after the chemo, we didn't find any. After my surgery, we didn't find any. I said, I know. I never doubted for a second that I would be cancer free. Yes. I never doubted for 1 second they would not get it all. I didn't have stage 4. I mean, I didn't have an extreme, but I still had to go through all that. Yes, it was horrific. Yes, I was miserable, but there was always a light. There was always an end date. There was always a finite.
Yes.
There was not an infinite.
Come on.
And so when people go, oh, and I had people call, when I called to tell them they were crying, and I'm like, I'm going to be fine, people.
Language matters. What you say about a situation matters.
I'm going to be fine, people. And if we take on that, like when we go through dark periods of our life, am I preaching to myself?
Come on, aren't we always? We better.
Go through dark periods of life. I always know God is in control at all times. What will be, no matter. If I was supposed to die of cancer, that was God's thing. If I was supposed to be whatever, that was on God. It was not on me. That was not on the doctors. That was on nobody, because we do not know the time or the hour when God's coming, when Jesus is coming back, nor do we know the time or the hour when we die.
That's right.
And I hope when I die, my dash is that she had a life well lived and loved the Lord.
There we go.
I always say that dash is what's important. I love graveyards. I love walking around cemeteries and imagining what their dashes are.
That dash in between, right? You love the Lord.
Imagine what their dashes are.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to insert that I never shed a tear. I was a little upset at the possibility of losing my hair, but I never got upset.
And you look radiant, so that should be
beautiful. Now, Renee, with that being said, before the Lord calls you home, Renee Lawless, what do you want to be remembered as? When someone says Renee Lawless, what do you, going back to middle school, high school, college years, success, Hollywood, what would they say? What do you want them to say or remember about you?
Funny, kind, generous, full of life, grateful, blessed, and love Jesus with all my heart.
Oh, wow.
Actually, that should be the first thing.
Beautiful.
Love Jesus with all my heart. I just never want to be remembered, and I've had my moments of being mean.
Haven't we all?
We have something on the screen, Kenise.
Yeah.
I just want to know that I lived life to the fullest. And I was there for my friends.
And I was just about to add, I want to say one thing that I know for a fact. You are loyal. Very, very loyal. And I said it before and I'll say it again. The world needs to know, before she blew up, we met, we said hello. And as she went on to Hollywood and came back, she stayed loyal. Every single time I called, every single time I text, whether I was going for an audition, whether I got casted in a certain part, she was always a cheerleader of mine.
And you were on Blue Lights. Sometimes I was here on Blue Lights. I was so excited.
Yes. And even before that, I was going on a string of auditions, and no matter, I called you one day. I definitely remember, you remember this, and I said, listen, this is too hard. And it was for certain parts that you remember, and you said, listen, keep in the fight, keep going. You're going to break through, whether it was an independent movie, whether it was a TV show or whatever. And I wanted to say, you stayed loyal. So I sincerely appreciate that from you. As we wrap this up, Gigi, you have anything to say?
No, I just want to express my gratitude. I thank you for taking the time and for sharing your stories, your laughter, your hopes, really for spending some time with and having some jazzy conversations.
That's right.
And yes, and bringing back some of the holiday spirit and being our first.
Our very first.
You are our very first. So
and
I'm
Connecticut
big on
loves
first.
you. People in Connecticut loves you.
Yes. So
I love Connecticut. I love Connecticut.
Well, we thank you. That's it for me. Just gratitude. I'm thankful. It's been wonderful spending time with you.
I'm grateful, and thank you for inviting me. I feel very honored to be the first.
Would you like to say anything else to the fans that's watching before we wrap this up? They know where to find you. Any books, anything going on? Producers, I want to make sure that they know, because I know they're watching this. Directors are going to watch this. And let them know that you're still working.
Go to ReneeLawless.com and reach out to my reps. I take scripts. I take whatever. I just want to say, wherever you are in your life, and they can say, well, it's okay. Everybody wears a mask.
Isn't that right?
And we don't know what somebody's going through.
That's right.
You never know. Even the biggest of biggest stars to the low, I know janitors that are far more happy than billionaires. And I know people that live, on one-room shacks or living on the streets, and they'd always have a pleasant word to say, and we just need to remember that. Give God the glory. If you don't know Jesus, you need to. And to, in the words of my pastor, be sweet.
Wow.
Be sweet. I love it.
Renee, thanks again. Thanks for coming on. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on the show. And
Thank you for having me.
We will have you back. Gigi, you want to take us home?
Oh, listen, come on back. The next episode of Jazzy Conversations with
Teef
and Gigi. Thanks for checking in.
Take care, Renee. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you too.
That was Renee Lawless. Now, for community people in the community, if you want to reach out to Teef and Gigi, please email us at teefgigi@gmail.com. That's TEEFGIGI@gmail.com. We'll shout out your business. If you would like to be on the show, please give us an email. Any small businesses that want to have a spotlight on them, please email us, and we'll give you a shout out, okay? Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We'll see you next week. Next week, we have a very, very interesting guest. You're going to have to tune in to know who it is.
Thanks for checking in, y'all.
Take care.